I think I do believe we are live. Chat, can you confirm? Do you see the two most beautiful persona content creators that have ever graced the
And
world
if you don't
global?
see Kage, that's just an error because he. There we go.
Oh, there's see that. How do you not say that that's the most beautiful thing ever? Look at that.
I'm
What's up,
here
everybody?
to tell you guys. Hi. You know what? Look at that.
That looks like
No shot
Morgana,
call.
no doubt. Like,
No no shot caller either. All
yeah,
right.
right. That one came willingly.
Yeah. It no, my cat's the other one is his brother looks even more like Morgana.
That's
But there
wild.
is that had no weight on the decision to get them, but they definitely have the Morgana vibes. It's just like they were literally my dad's like, "Hey, there's a litter of kittens in my backyard and the cougars are starting to eat them. Would you like to adopt two of them?" And me and my girlfriend are like, "You know what? Let's go adopt a cat."
You
And
said
so they're just
You
we
said the
just got them, picked them
cougars,
up.
and my brain went to a different type of cougar immediately,
Yeah.
inappropriate. I'm like, really?
All
Like,
these
I'm just,
hot older women are feasting on this.
I'm like, what neighborhood do you live in? Like,
It's like, oh, wait, can I get the address for research purposes? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, hey, everybody! Before I forget, go buy your Asum tea. It's that day of the week, and I'm gonna do it right now because I almost forgot last week.
Ooh,
Get your
good
Asum.
call. I'll launch the game and go do that.
Yes, yes. So, Platt, I loved the episode last week. I watched it on whatever day I came back to work. I threw it on in the background and then I promptly got distracted and didn't work that well for that hour.
Hmm.
And I thought it was funny as hell. I loved it. It
So
was a
I'm
good
actually
episode.
interested because obviously I'm always there when I'm there. Um, you not being there, did you feel like me and Kage's dynamic was similar or very different than your and my dynamic?
A little bit of mix of both. So I think where it's similar is the passion and love of talking games, and not just Persona, but you guys obviously talked about some other things, Legend of Dragoon, a couple others. Where it's different, I think, is probably in the tone because you guys remind me of, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like if we were to go to the pub and start like horsing around and everything else, like that's the dynamic you guys have. Whereas when you and I get on the call or whatever, it's my daytime bear. It's where like I reduce the verbal the swearing and stuff like that. Not that I don't. I mean, Melissa can vouch for last night when I was playing Hades 2 on stream. That was a much different bear. But I think it's like it's similar in the content, it's different in the vibe. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. And honestly, when I'm talking, sometimes I let's just say me and my girlfriend when we talk, a lot of times people overhear us in grocery
Mm,
stores or at restaurants, and they're like, "What are you guys talking about?" Like, because I could be a little weird with my conversational stuff anyway. Because I asked the deep questions that
oh.
people don't think about. I mean, that's cool. I'm happy if people liked it. I haven't checked the numbers on it. I'm sure it's not as good as a normal episode, but still, I had a lot of fun. Kage is always an enjoyable person to be able to talk to.
I love talking to Kage. I mean, I mostly will talk to him obviously in Discord and stuff. He hangs out on the server, but he's always just so much fun to talk to.
Yeah, because I think he's a good balance of like being a meta head where he just
Mhm.
like knows the meta, but he also doesn't like. I feel like he doesn't judge people that just like doing things for fun either.
Yeah, yeah. Melissa said that Kage has much less respect than Bear.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's less respect,
Kage.
but
Listen, I knew Kage. I think he's different. It's been a while now, but like he was a very different person. Maybe not a different person, but like he was spicy. Like back in
mm,
Dragon Quest Tact, like one of a different Dragon Quest game shut down, and he went into their Discord to make fun of them that their game got shut down because they all suck because your
yeah.
game sucks, and like that wasn't nice. He didn't originally go there to do that. He went there to like talk, and then someone rubbed him the wrong way, and he's like, "Well, I'm happy your game's getting shut down." Then everyone started dogpiling.
Oh,
And then he's like, "You guys are a bunch of losers. I hate all of you." So he was like, I remember two or three people sending me private messages saying like, "Hey, you shouldn't hang out with Kage for X, Y, or Z reason. We don't want him as part of the community." And he was the number one player in the game at that time.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember even then, I'm like, everyone just getting him wrong. Yeah, it's like, yeah, if you push him, he pushes back, but that's it. He's like actually a nice guy, and
He's
he's
always been cool. Yeah, I like him. He's a good dude. You know what's funny is like if you were to, and you know this because you talk to me like when the cameras are off. Um, I swear all the time. Like I grew up in military and then construction. And so like it was every other word was a swear, and that was just normal speech. It was all about how you swore and that you didn't swear at somebody. And so like
Hmm.
when the camera's off, like it's F bombs galore. And even with our kids, our rule is very, very simple. It's all about that approach of how you swear. So like we're like your teacher probably will not, appreciate you saying some things in class, so maybe know your environment, right? But if my kid stubs
Uh-huh.
their toe and they say shit, like I don't care. Like
Yeah,
move on with
I've
life.
been I've been very as someone that got spanked for like getting tripped and I said, "Oh shit." Like
Yeah.
that and I got spanked for that. I'm like I've always been very big on it's all about context. I'm like
Hmm.
I don't care. I work in middle schools, elementary schools. If I hear a kid swear, I don't care at all. It's just a word. If I hear a kid swear at another kid like you're an effing idiot or something, I'm
Yeah.
like, now you're just being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like that's not okay. I don't care if you're talking to your buddies and whatever. It's like I couldn't believe that how effing big this burrito was. Like that's not a big deal to me, you know.
Yep. 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 All right. So I sent to the Twitter space and YouTube a call for questions for today. Now it has been slow in content, but we also do have the preview for the live stream that the developers run on Wednesday. So we know a couple things that are coming or are most likely coming. So we do want to talk about that, but I'm gonna weave in these questions, and there's
Okay.
only a few of them. So everyone who's on chat, make sure to throw some questions out here. Do an at so I see it, and please don't do an at if you don't have a question that you want us to try to answer. That way I can just see it in chat. It'll be easier for me to read today. But the first one, this one comes from Alex, and he said, "Why do bears and platypuses get along so well?" You say it first. What do you think?
That's like in a fundamental thing. I think it's because in the real world, I think they don't kill each other because they're not in the same environment. I think that's it. I think if we weren't video calling and we were in person, we'd be very mean to each other, right? That's the only thing keeping us cordial. No, I don't know. That's a fluff question. I don't have a good answer for it. You tell me what you think deep down
I think
because they're both
be-
purple.
both are purple. Bears are fuzzy and soft and squishable, and platypus, tiger, lion, snake. Who doesn't want a bear squishing up on them? Chat, one in the chat. Throw ones in the chat if you want a big bear squishing up on you. And then platypuses, the only thing I can ever think of is how awesome Perry the Platypus is. And I know that you've got a secret agent side that you just don't show the rest of the world. It's your other personality. And that's fine. And I'm all for that. And so you're a secret agent. I'm your fluffy buddy, and that's how it goes.
I do think that there is an element like bears and platypus are both like maybe even like tigers. They're kind of like cute and like maybe cuddly, like fluffy, but also platypus like a bear is very deadly. And a platypus like the female ones have literally like are the second most poisonous animal in the world. They have like a barb on their back foot that's
Oh,
like crazy lethal to animals, but it's like only the females that have it, but it's like a so they're like see they're cute but secretly deadly,
okay
Uh
then.
so they respect each other's power. They got big sticks, so no one's swinging.
um, I'm just not going to touch that one.
You're not gonna
I was about
okay,
to bring
I'm
that
sorry.
somewhere else. I was about to
Anyone
bring that
want a
somewhere else.
big bushy bear pushing up against them? Okay.
But I mean, big sticks, bears and big sticks.
Yeah.
So this is probably should have been the late night one.
Hey.
Platt is close to his mic. So people are saying my mic is low compared to you. I'm trying to figure out why, but I've been noticing my volume has been lower in editing as well. So I don't know what setting is screwing this up. But
Did
I'm
you
gonna keep
reset?
throwing.
Sometimes if I unplug my mic and replug it in, it resets the dBs like in the
Mm,
Windows settings.
yeah, let me
Like every now
try
and then I have to
this.
go check back to
Check,
if we
check,
go
check.
to
Oh, sorry. I was saying,
check.
guys, is this better? I switched my input like Platt was saying, just to see what happens. So let me know if it sounds better, if it's too loud, if it's not loud enough, and then I can keep switching inputs if that is.
All right,
Uh,
I'll be silent.
No, because I have to hear it next to you. So we
Oh,
have
okay.
to have the is yours louder than mine battle. Who is the
Okay,
bigger
well,
voice? Sounds
is
louder
it
now.
me?
It's better. Good. Okay, they're all saying it's way better now.
Okay, that's
Effing
good. Problem
OBS. I did an
solved.
OBS update. And I swear to God, that probably because that also screwed up half my video stuff too, which was
So
beyond
that's why, like,
irritating.
I know I've never been fancy, but I've done enough scenes that have gotten destroyed where I'm like, screw it, I'm never doing a scene again. I have
Mm.
one scene in my OBS. That's it. I had to make a second scene to do the podcast with Kage, and it was just me trying to steal all your stuff while you were gone to put it as the background.
I have 8 different scenes that I switched between. I mean, some are like
I just
BRB screens, so it's like whatever to that. But
this is the difference between someone that's gonna make it as a content creator and someone that's just doing it after their janitor job. All right,
yeah, my wife has been telling
it's
me I have 2
having eight
jobs now.
scenes. Yeah, it could be it's fun, but if you take it very seriously, there's no end to the amount of hours you could put into it.
No, and it's like so. I tried to step up my editing game in my last 2 videos. So one was a P5X one was a ZZN video. And here's the difference. My last how to play guide before, who did I just do? I did Summer Motoa. So Summer Closer, the editing side of that took me 40 minutes. That was it. The editing
Yeah.
side of Summer Motoha, what the hell they call her, took me 2 hours. And it does, if you look at them side by side, you can tell I did more, right? It's not like you can't tell I didn't do anything, but the amount of time it takes to synchronize your videos and, because of the audio tracks are now off level and stuff, like it's so much more work. I enjoy it, but it's like that balance of how far down the rabbit hole do you go to create the content versus I could have done a whole nother video in that same amount of time.
I think if I might just be dumb, but having done a lot of video editing, not deep, right? Like low level video editing and making a lot of my content. Like when I watch people's videos, like and I'll see just like a thing pop up on screen, like a little element or whatever that has like even if it's like life points tick down, like they're playing a card game, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, and it shows a guy show up and his life points go down by. I'm like, that takes so much fucking work. You need to have the assets and this and to bring it in, to bring it out.
Green
And it's
screen
hard to
stuff
make
out. Yeah.
and it's hard to make that stuff actually work. Or even if I see a screen and it's like, now let's take a look at this, and it like zooms out and it's like a thing and then a different thing.
Yeah.
Like every time I see anything that isn't someone staring at a camera talking, I'm like, how the hell did they do all this? How much?
Yeah.
It's taken me hours to edit a YouTube short. A 60-second video
shorts.
can take me an hour plus to edit.
I think
Or
shorts are
depending on-
harder than long
depending on-
form.
Yeah, and then long form videos, I could just spend. I probably spend 5 minutes editing my videos, chopping out some silences, adding my outro, something super basic. But shorts, if I want to cut it to be very specific, and if I want to get like a little bit of a joke in there for something, it could take so much longer. It's a bottomless pit, man. If you really, really want to put your time into it, I see why people get paid to do that full time.
So I'm going to take this question. I'm going to take your questions out of order, people. So don't be mad at me. But this one segues into one of the topics I want to bring up about the game. So we all know Mesa's coming next. That was already shown on Twitter and everything else. It wasn't really much of a surprise anyways. And so the question here, and I'll preface it before we answer it. Even if Mesa gets a major rework that betters him, will you two both consider pulling on him? So I want to put some context in case people don't know what the fundamental flaw of Mesa is. So Mesa is a good character. And on paper, he can actually be a great character. The issue he runs onto is it's not his straight physical DPS. It's that his straight physical DPS is locked behind numerous awarenesses, realistically his A6. You can get by on what would be our A2 because our A2 is sooner than the A2 power in other servers. And so that means until then, you're really using him for dot damage. And let me see if I can find if it will show me on the bosses in my screen here. But what ends up happening is bosses get a effect that reduces the effectiveness of HP percent based damage. So when most of your kit and the power of your kit is based on I do X percent of your HP, and the boss basically nullifies the majority of that, That is what his major problem is. So it's not that he's not a strong character, it's that the bosses have a thing that directly counters him, with the exception of his own. He's going to look like an all-star in his own event, right? But outside of that, Ryuji tends to be stronger. So unless they do some massive overhaul or mechanical overhauls in the game, that's what's going to set him behind. So hopefully everyone's got the preface there. Platt, what do you think about Mesa?
Two quick things. One, I don't know exactly how, if Pride win or whatever, it has all the good information. Usually it's been pretty good. But one thing that I like about his bleed stacks is their damage is in two parts. Where the bleed does do 1% almighty damage at max HP, but then it does 4% based off his attack. So it does. I think they did a good job in designing this character. That part of the kit, part of the bleed damage is a percent based, which will be good when it's not resisted and terrible when it is resisted.
Yeah.
But you always have that baseline of that 4% of his attack per bleed stack. And it might even be higher because he has something that says you increase the bleed stack by 4% per 30 EHR. So again, I haven't run the numbers, and I'm sure for bossing he's not good comparatively to someone like Makoto, who just does big damage, smack. But this is a character I'm absolutely going to pull. And the thing is, I really don't even know if this guy is going to be better than Sepia, though, if I'm being completely honest. I think in a pure DP, and if you are able to do percent-based damage, Sepia has to be better because he can get like 22 stacks of curse on the guys. And this is stuck at 10 bleed stacks. So, but as long as it's not that, if they do resist it, I think this guy will still be a very good single target damage dealer. But
yeah,
this is one of the easiest skip characters, even though I'm very excited for him. I like his kit. But is he actually better than Ryuji? Probably not. Why is he all about his synergy, all about upgrading your guns, and he has no gun skills? I don't know. Why
he
is
could
he
have been? They
not
should have made him a gun character. Honestly, like he would have been an awesome. Like it would just tie in so much better.
Yeah. He doesn't have a single like AOE attack, so he can only hit single target. He doesn't read to me. Unless his damage, like in the math, comes out as the best single target DPS in the game, which I'm skeptical he'll beat Makoto at because Makoto has such a dedicated team around her. I just think this is like an easy skip character that doesn't really fill a role that anyone needs. However, he is very cool, and I will be pulling for him for sure.
I'm like going to battles, trying to find where they show the boss. Because to my understanding, some of the, if not all the HP scaling reduced damage is in the game already. I don't know if it's on every single boss, but
it's always in the guild bosses. It's like always in all the guild fights. And it'll say reduces percent based HP like damage over time.
Yeah.
It does specify that it's percent based. So it's like 1% of their max HP.
Oh, here it is, yeah.
Do 0.1% of their max HP or something.
Yeah, percentage damage down, decreased damage taken based on percentage of users' max HP. So this is the specific thing, guys, that I'm referring to. Is this buff to the boss is a debuff directly to Mesa, effectively. When I guess technically Sepia as well. So as far as
even
okay,
I was gonna say you can overcome that. I think on Sepia, maybe on this guy, but like I'm only on the 6-star SOS because I forgot to complete one of the fights last time, so I didn't progress. But in the 6-star SOS, the top team with the top damage is using Sepia, and he has a resistance to the percent-based thing. But even with the resistance, the guy has so much HP. I'm still doing 300,000 curse damage in action. You know, every time he gets his action, it's 300,000. Then I use Pazuzu, get another 300,000. So like you could still overcome that, but it is definitely a debuff.
Yeah,
right?
And I think what says a lot to me, and this can be completely different for global. Global is obviously buck the trends. Is when I do research on characters, even if I have them or whatever, I like to go find videos of people actually using them. It doesn't even have to be in English, and I cannot, for the life of me, find good examples of Mesa at A0, especially in A0 without a weapon. I can find plenty of examples of him doing monstrous damage at A6, or even really solid damage at A3. And that just tells me that people didn't really create content or use him enough at that A0 marker to make it a common usable thing. And so, and I understand why because of the mechanics, but I think what I would like to see them do is the bleed thing is hard. And I think the way they get around that is they move some of his physicality, his like more kind of raw DPS executioner stance stuff into his A0. Because if you bring that forward, he has a reason to be there. But if you make that still backload into his A6, I'm never. How many people are going to pull an A6 Mesa if pulling him at all?
Zero. Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think he seems like if you have the currency, if an A0 Mesa without his weapon, I think is very viable for a fight built completely around him. Like, he's probably still going to be one of the best in the game at doing specifically what he does with the bleed stacks. But if you want to use him generically, it's like he's one of those. I feel like he's an A0, you know, with a 4-star weapon, or like an A6 R6. You know, it's like you either
go
just
one way or
do
the other.
absolute. You do the bare minimum to make it so it's like, yeah, he's kind of cool. He has his job. He does his job, and I put him in the box, kind of like how Fox is a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And then or you know, you just go all in, and he becomes a monster.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, my pull plan right now is I think I'm going to go to 50-50 on him. As much as I want to have every character, there's a limit to, you know, obviously spending. And next month is likely going to be a very, very light spending month for me just because of YouTube or whatever. And so I would rather not push into a double, you know, pity on him and have that for like a Haru or have that for a Futaba. And, you know, I think about the next two kind of skippable characters, and it's him and it's Figure Skater Mont or Swan Mont, whatever they call her. And I like, as kind of worthless as she is, honestly, I like Swan Mont better than I like Mesa because she has the dual elements. And I've said this before, but I just love her animations. I just think they're really pretty, and I'm down to pull for that reason.
I mean, that's all you need. The people forget this is like genuinely a very easy game, unless you're trying to be a top 10 guild for only swag purposes. Like, the game is easy. You can clear the game with Sapia. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone, say what you want about him. I think he's really good. People meme on him, whatever. Yeah. But it's like, I'm clearing all the content with him. Like, literally every piece of content I'm clearing with him. And so if he's really that bad, then why do you need someone that's really that good? So just pull who you enjoy more than anything.
Well, I think that, like, and that's always what I go back to, especially for this game, because there is no PvP, is the top probably 20 to 30 guilds haven't really shifted much. I mean, maybe Kage can say differently, but it's still like the same pocket. Maybe they move places. And so if you're not in that grouping and you don't care about the score well enough, or you're not trying to push into rank 8 SOS, because then you do need some points, you really can just sit back and play who you want. So if you want to go straight to hard pity on Mesa, or you even want to go A3 on Mesa because you just love him, cool. Melissa keeps saying she's going to go 50-50 on Mesa. She's not. Melissa, I'm calling you out. I know for a fact that if you don't hit the 50-50, you're going to keep going for Mesa. Like, but enjoy that. Like, why not? Right? Go have fun with that. I think you should. So yeah, so I mean, my plan right now is to go to 50-50. We'll see what happens. You know, I don't know if I'd even go for his weapon. He might be one that if I get him, I just get the gecko coins.
I read his weapon, and I'm sure his weapon, it's hard to know mathematically because of how much it actually increases his damage. But his 4-star weapon is so good.
Yeah.
Like it gives him like a straight up, I think it's like 50 to 60% attack increase. Now, is that as good as increasing your flat damage? Like, mathematically, I'm sure it's not even close. But like, it's still just like a good weapon. It's not like any parts of it are going to waste.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think it's, you know, like I'm sad I don't have Phoebe's weapon. Like, I should have pushed for that one harder because that one has like a really big impact on her playstyle. I don't see his as having that dramatic of an effect. And like Chords I think has a really big impact on her playstyle. So there's characters that do. Mesa's, you couple the fact. Oh, go ahead.
Zero impact on his playstyle.
Yeah,
it's not going to change your turns at all.
Yeah, he'll definitely. And that's the thing. Every single 5-star, except for arguably Puppet, on a Fox team, every single 5-star is better in the damage department than the 4-star. It is what it is. But if you're not taking them into the tough battles, again, it doesn't matter. So that might be how I do it too. I may just go to the 50-50 on him, and if I get him, I just stop there, use 10 of the green coins. and maybe even use a couple and get it like all the way ranked up, because that's probably fine. I've got so many of these damn coins anyways, because most of my characters have their 5 stars. Um, that might be how I treat Mesa. So we've got another question. This comes from, I swear to God, this is not an alt account of mine. This comes from Booty Bear. He says, most looked for, what is the content that we are most looking forward to? And then what content do we feel very meh about? So I guess I'll take this one since I gave you the last one first. So the content I'm looking the most forward to, it's a tie. On one hand, it is the other side of Mindscape, which is the Astrolab, which is where you get to use the breadth of your own teams to clear out so many stages, and it's kind of the harder content. And the other side is Tartarus, because it's also really hard content, but it's roguelike, and you don't use your characters. You go in there and you're basically using there's like a selection of characters, and it's I think Blades for actually did a video on this recently, so go check it out. But you're basically getting cards as you go through, like the shuffle time, and then you're picking stuff. Like you're picking, I want to do the awareness for this character or whatever. And so you get to use characters that maybe you didn't pull, and it keeps ramping up difficulty. And the newest version of it brought the Reaper.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like, so this is my perception, having not played either of them based off what you just said. Astrolab seems to test your account, and Tartarus seems to test your game knowledge.
Bingo. And a little bit of luck. Like it's going to be so hard for anybody to do a true Tartarus guide that isn't just this is mechanically how it functions, because roguelike games, like, think about Hades. Every time I go in, I can get a different setup of cards or powers, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Like I may not get the card that gives me the character that I want on this run, and now I have to think about, do I abandon the run? Do I go for it, but I know that I have to change my strategy? Am I clever enough to know how to synergize this now? And so it's I'm not going to go fully through Tartarus right now. It's just way too much. But it's definitely, it's a true roguelike. And I think it's going to be a surprise for a lot of people when they get to the harder difficulty levels of it.
I'm very excited for that. Is this stuff coming up soon?
So Tartarus will come with P3, which will be after the anniversary, unless they change timing.
Okay.
So you have the 1 year
sense.
anniversary, and then the patch after is P3, which is, I want to say Tartarus came with P3, if not the patch after. And then Astrolab, technically all of Mindscape came at 3.0. So we've already gotten part of it early with that little outer uses the star things. So Mindscape. And so my biggest crossing fingers is that they drop that with the next patch, or worst case, the patch after, since this next patch is going to be fully packed with, obviously story and stuff like that. But I want it early. Like I think we have just enough characters in our accounts that we could actually do it. It wouldn't have made sense at launch, but I'm jonesing to get into that content.
Listen, I'm just, to be negative. All right. I cannot believe this summer event, I think, was like the worst thing to happen to this game so far. Not that it was that unfun, although that stupid shaved ice minigame was unfun.
I hate that minigame.
I hated that. But it's like they're like, hey, the palace is gonna come out in 4 parts. So here's the first of 4 parts. And then it's like a month for the second of 4 parts. Like, let's move this stuff on the road. I don't know. Like,
it should have been faster.
I was excited to do this palace stuff.
Yeah.
And now, so I want some real meat and potatoes content. Yes. I don't know.
Yes,
I'm excited. I mean, luckily we're almost through we're through the hard times, and we're gonna get another section of the palace. Hopefully, it's pretty meaty.
Yeah, and I think it honestly ramps up after that. Like, you still get palaces and parts like that. That doesn't change, but I don't know. There's enough other content that comes out, especially with the addition of like Astrolab and stuff, that like the dead period doesn't feel as dead. You still get the gacha game, circuit where it's like, okay, eventually, especially if you're like a content creator, like Zev, me, you, we're going to blow through a lot of this content for the sake of making videos. And so we kind of feel it in that pressure. Or like Kage. Kage is going to be rank 1 all the time. So he's going to blow through the content in 8 minutes. So there's people like us that just rush it. That's our own fault. But for most people, I think it's going to be better because they can play it more leisurely, which I think is the right way to do it, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, right now I just don't have a second like mobile game that I'm playing.
Oh, I'm about to pull ZZN in, and on the 22nd, the same day the freaking patch for this drops.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know what ZZN is.
Oh, Chaos Zero Nightmare. So it's the roguelike card game.
Oh my god, those are my two favorite words. I
Dude,
love
go
card
check
games.
out, not to shill my own video to you, but go check out my my playlist and my video from yesterday. Because I
Is
did a
this
new
game
one.
going to be on? Is this game going to be on Steam?
Oh, I don't remember. I'd have to double check. It has a
What's
PC client because I play on the PC client.
remind me what the name of it is.
Chaos Zero Nightmare.
Chaos Zero. I'm gonna
Nightmare.
look this
Yeah.
up because
It's so cool,
you
man.
just said my favorite games are card game roguelites. Slay the
Yeah.
Spire, right?
Yeah, it's very Slay the Spire like. Like if you like Slay the Spire, I think that this will be in a gotcha format, it'll fit. It'll make more sense once you look at it. So the other half of this question was, what do we think is the most meh content? I think so. First of all, I'm going to give a runner up to the Shaved Ice because I think it is the worst mini game I've ever played on a gacha game, hands down. Period. Especially if you try to play that shit on mobile. Like I was playing it in New York on my phone, and I wanted to like throw my phone out the window because I couldn't like see what the hell the topping thing was. It's like, is that a seashell? Is that a floaty? Is that a I have the umbrella was the only one I could figure out. So thankfully I finished it on PC. But for the true content that I think is super meh, it's probably the train. The train is good your first 2 to 3 runs, and then it's just it just there's nothing really unique about it to me. Like it's just the same thing. And frankly, if you have Minami, the train game is, do you have Minami and whatever else you're supposed to bring for that particular track. If you don't have Minami, it's a little bit harder.
Sorry, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your face froze for a second
Okay.
there, but I can hear you. Oh, he froze again. Can you guys hear me still? I see that Platt is freezing himself out. But can you guys hear me? And then we can let him reconnect. Yeah, Melissa, I would not even attempt to do 100% on the phone. Oh, are you back? Your camera was frozen for a hot minute there.
I don't. My internet is being fritzy right now. Maybe it
Okay.
is back now.
You do seem back
So,
to me.
the last thing I heard was Chaos Zen Zero, whatever, Zenless Zone Zero Chaos was it's like,
Oh,
yeah, and then it cut out.
okay.
I think we were gonna say gotcha.
Yeah, it is
so
gotcha.
I apologize.
Yeah. No,
I don't
we
know
were,
what's going on with
no,
the internet.
I brought in the second half with the question before, which is what content do we think is meh? And so I'll do mine quickly. One is I gave a runner up to the Shaved Ice game because it's the worst mini game I've ever played in a gacha game.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
that is
ever,
worse
period.
than ma. That is
Yeah.
just that's blah.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what's worse than meh.
brand
You know?
damage inducingly bad. And then the other thing was I was gonna say the train. So the train to me is fun the first couple runs. And it was like their first attempt at a roguelike when thank God Tartarus is better. But I think it boiled down to you that had Minami, it was super easy, or you didn't, and it might have been a little bit harder, but it was always repetitive and kind of long and boring. So to me, that's the most meh content that we currently have in the game. But what do you think?
I think that I was gonna say the Metro Desire is like the definition of meh. Like that is so. It's like, is it bad? Like, no, it's not bad. It's fine. You know, it's kind of fun. But like, do you want to play it? Like, well, I don't want to play it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
that is the perfect definition of meh. It's just
Yeah.
like whatever. Other things are just like, I think the guild bosses are boring. I wish the
Mhm.
guild bosses were a fundamentally different thing like they do in other gotchas where it's like, I don't know if it has not infinite HP, but like, you know, you try to kill the boss and then you have another boss after it, then a third boss, and then, you know, you kind of just push it as far as you can. How
Yeah.
many bosses can your guild clear? Because going for like the difference between going for I got 23,000,000,096 or I got
Yeah.
24 billion now. I'm like, I don't care that much. But going between's like, hey, we defeated this boss. Like, can anyone up their score a little bit and we can maybe kill this boss? I'm like, that just feels better.
Yeah.
So I don't like the way they've implemented guild battles. I just don't think they're that fun, and they're mostly solved and then recycled.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you eventually will change out some. Like one of my favorites is always going to be that if you get Haru at A1, she's better than Joker at his own guild boss. But that's the definition of power creep, right? And it's only because she has this very specific mechanic that allows her to be better in that fight. But so, you know, I'm looking at the chat here, and Shadow King is trying to get banned. because Sandra asked, "How is the upcoming card game?" I'm trying to remember the name of the card game. It's escaping my mind right now. This is how fun I think it is. I was sick with COVID one day, and well, for a couple days, and I finally got to the day where I could sit in my chair and not just lay in my bed. And I spent the entire day playing the card game on the client. And the card game came out with
Persona?
Cherish, I think. Yeah. What is the name of it? It came out. It came out with Cherish, but it was in Persona 3R, I think, as well. What is the name of the stupid card game?
I never played P3R.
Tycoon. Thank you. Who said that? Melissa, thank you. Yeah.
I'd never heard of this card game before.
Dude, so first of all, you get all sorts of rewards for it. So you get all the stuff that you want. But it's going to be really fun because it is the only, I guess, technically PvP in the game because you can play against real people. And yeah, dude, I kid you not. I've lost several hours in a row to Tycoon, and I don't regret a single moment of it. And it's easy enough that even if I couldn't read anything on KR for it, but it's like, you don't need to, like, it's intuitive. And then, there's going to be some people that are just goats at it that are going to be way better than I ever was, but I intend to go hard into Tycoon.
This whole podcast is going to be a Tycoon podcast when that drops. All I'm going to talk about is top meta decks.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do?
I'm going to talk about.
I'll have to test it first to see if I can like lock rooms. I've been trying to think of what I want to do for my members. I think a members only Tycoon room would be so fun. Like a Tycoon tournament with my members. Yeah. That would be.
Is there a gacha element to it? Or is this like completely separate? Like, how do you just have all the cards, or you get them through quests?
You get a couple like powers from ranking up Cherish himself. One of which is particularly strong because I think it lets you see all the cards that have been played. And so if you are, in the mindset of understanding the strategy, knowing what's left on the decks is pretty damn powerful. Someone says, "Isn't Tycoon Uno with extra steps?" I honestly never felt like it was like Uno, so I don't make that connection, but I'm not always the smartest cookie in the room. So
no one try to ruin this fun card game for me before it even comes out. That's the issue with stuff. People will be like, "Oh,
I love it."
I'm like, "Oh, Tartarus sounds like that'll be fun." They're like, "Yeah, but it's so repetitive and boring after 6." I'm like, stop ruining my fun, you wet blankets.
Yeah, I mean, someone tell me if there's a way to whale into Tycoon, but I can't think of a way to whale into Tycoon. Because Cherish, you can still unlock his synergy anyways, right? So it doesn't matter if you pull him or not. Just like, Mesa, if you don't pull Mesa, you still have his confidant. And so it's a matter of getting those skills, but the skill itself, if you don't have it, it just means you don't have like a cheat sheet to where cards have been played. But I don't know. I can't think of anything in the game that allows you to whale into Tycoon.
So did you build a deck, or is it like a deck that normal people have? Is it like a shared deck?
Yeah, so you get like a starter deck that has all sorts of cards, and then as you go through, so there's different modes within it, and then like some of it's where, so you have wonder cards and you have joker cards, and so jokers are like you play anything, and then wonder, what the hell does the wonder card do? Why am I haven't played it in a little while because I've been too busy with creating the content, but you do get to where you're in certain ranks and maybe you don't have a wonder card. Or like stuff like that. So there is some strategy around that. Yeah, someone else is saying they don't find Uno and Tycoon similar. I couldn't really think of like how it was similar either. But like there's certain things you can do. Like for example, you kind of want to play a card higher than someone else, right? And then you're trying to get it so no one else can play cards. So you run your deck down first. But then if I play, I think it's 4 of the same card, or maybe it's 3 of the same card, it breaks the deck and it flips it. So now you have to go lower numbers. So if you're like saving all your highest cards for like a run at the end, and then someone does like a 3 at the same time or 4 at the same time, now the people with the lower number cards are going to win. And so like you can do some really crazy stuff with it if you're thinking through like, oh, I've got a really good triple king. I'm going to hold my triple king to flip the deck, right? Like it's really cool stuff like that. But you start with a hand and your hand has, I forget how many cards. So you're not like drawing from a deck. You have a set like random amount of cards.
Okay, I mean it sounds like fun. I'm hoping it'll be at least just an enjoyable thing to do, if not literally the new reason I play the game.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I have stupid amount of hours. into that card mode. There was a while where like I would just log in and play that. Like I would do my dailies and I would just go freaking play Tycoon.
Yeah,
How?
I mean, I'm a card gamer at my heart. I play every card game that comes out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you're gonna like it. Every once in a while, I get this stupid bug where like I go somewhere and I can't like it doesn't give me like the space bar to click on it. Like I'm trying to go get
Really?
coffee for my daily, and it's like, yeah. See, I'm like walking into buildings and it's not letting me actually enter them. Well, that's trash. All right. So another question we got. This one's fun. This one's probably a little bit easy. This comes from Shark Attack. Unlimited bacon, but no more video games. Or I'm guessing he wrote this wrong, but I think he meant to say unlimited games, but no bacon. Would you give up video games for bacon?
Not even, not in 100 million years. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even remotely consider it as like I'm insulted. He asked, even as a joke question. I'm insulted. Like, listen, bacon is good, but I could just eat sausage. I like sausage a lot.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
a big sausage guy. All right, people come up to me all the time. It's like, there's Mr. Big Sausage himself.
I once just want to be near you and have someone come up to you and actually say, "That's a big sausage guy."
Yeah, there's Mr. Big Sausage. Don't I'm not joking. Me and my this is a quick story, but it's worth it.
Okay.
Me and my buddy, back when I started doing YouTube way back in an old channel, and we did like Critical Hit Gaming, something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
And we did like one video or maybe two videos, and one of our buddies knew, and he paid someone to come up and like, "Are you guys from Critical Hit Gaming or Critical Hit Reviews?" He's like, "Oh my god!" And my buddy was like, "What? How do you know that?" It was, like, but he paid someone to come up and be like, "Oh my god, is that Brad from Critical Hit Gaming?"
That's
And I
awesome.
love that. It's still, and I'm like, oh. To this day, I actually have had one person in real life approach me over my YouTube channel.
I've never had anyone approach me from my YouTube channel, but my wife has, which is interesting.
Yeah, no, but I had one person that's like, "Wait, are you per platypus? Do you play Octopath? Do you play Octopath Traveler 2?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you per platypus? Do you make videos on it?" I'm like, "I do." He's like, "Holy crap!" I was at my job. I worked at Ivor's, a fish restaurant.
Yeah. I think I would be super embarrassed. Like I wouldn't know socially how to respond to that. I'd probably blush and I'd probably be all like weird about it. Because I'm not
I
like a
said, "You can
fame
call
kind
me
of guy.
Mr. Sausage, sir."
Yeah. Big sausage if you're naughty. Um, yeah, and I same thing. Like so first of all, I rarely eat bacon because of my food stuff. And so I eat turkey bacon, if you want to know, 3 slices a day, every single day. I could easily give that up for some other protein. Like the only time I ever get like real bacon is Christmas and when we go camping.
I could not listen. I've had turkey bacon, and I've decided I'm just gonna have sausage instead. You know, I can't, the turkey bacon. Listen, I know that you develop a taste, but I like black coffee. Some people like
Yes,
turkey
I
bacon.
love black
Everyone like
coffee.
some people just like things that other people find gross,
Yeah.
and like some people drink beer and they think it tastes good. And I'm like, so you like it when someone pisses in your water? All right, go ahead. Um, but yeah, turkey bacon, you're brave. That's all I'll say.
There we go. So another thing that's coming or we think is coming, but I can't imagine won't. In the Twitter post from the developers that for the live that's coming up, they have a picture of Yui. I don't think it's a hard leap to say that Yui rerun is happening. It should have already happened. It's actually delayed. Um, are you
Yeah,
pulling her?
Marion rerun.
Yeah.
How odd.
Yeah. So would you pull if you don't have her already? Would you pull her, or would you say at this point don't need her? Who cares?
One, I do have her. Two, she might literally be my least used character next to Mont. Like,
Mm,
I might use Yui less than every other. I've used Tomoko more. So I think Yui is not the worst character in the game, but it's just like it's another character where all she does is hit one thing really hard. If you have a fight where you're going up, if they ever release a fight, like, hey, this is a really hard boss, is weak to electricity, and he has 55 shields. I'm like, bro, Yui, get in there. She breaks shields like a pro because her
yeah.
follow-up attacks all break shields. But it's like her damage is not broken. It's
Yeah.
very good, but it's still like if you have like a Makoto, she just does more damage. I just don't know why I would ever want to use her, especially now with Cord.
Yeah.
Like,
If you have
as a
Cord, you
lightning
don't even need
character.
Yui for Velvet Trials because you do Cord and Old School Closer. Now, I'm not saying Old School
Yeah,
Closer is amazing with that; it's going to be easy, but you
but
absolutely can beat Velvet Trial with those
Cord
two.
is so good that she makes old school closer be like, damn, even the one of the worst characters in the game, if they use their highlight 3 times over 2 turns or some shit, like
Hmm.
they seem really good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Melissa,
No, Yui's one of the worst characters.
Melissa just said so. They were talking about a game called Duet Night Abyss DNA in the chat, which comes out on the 28th. All this shit is coming out in the same week, which is killing me. I was telling my wife like I'm gonna have a very busy couple of weeks. But Duet Night Abyss is like anime Warframe is the best way you could describe it. So if you like Warframe, you're probably gonna like this one. So she's just saying she's turned to someone who's excited about that game. But that's another gotcha to kind of keep on your radar if you're looking out. But what they're doing, which I love, is their gotcha. You can get all the characters without the gotcha. So you get cosmetics and stuff. And I think you can still pull. They've been kind of hiding the information, but I think you can still pull and kind of convenience your way with money into the characters faster. But you can get all the characters without without using the gotcha system, and all the weapons. And the weapons can be used on different characters. So if I want my character to use a spear, I can throw a spear on them. Like, yeah, Shark. It's like anime Warframe. So someone says, "Wife, I thought you're a bear. I'm shocked."
All right, I apologize. I'm not joking. Both times my internet have cut out. It's when I
Oh,
tried to open the Zenless Zone Zero Chaos card game, like their official website.
oh, look at him being distracted, guys. Uh, Lapis, I'm not shy about who I am. So for those that are curious, I go both ways. So you can be surprised that I have a wife, but it could have as well been a husband. So
Yeah,
take that for what it
he's
is. So take that for what it is. Like I don't hide that. I stopped hiding that a while ago.
I mean, look, that's a sub theme of the whole bear
Hmm.
identity, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the name has some double entendres going on there.
Listen, this is something that happened in my real life. Okay, I am the purple platypus. Okay, per platypus. I had someone that supported me for a long time on Twitch when I was streaming,
Hmm.
and then I sent some stuff. I sent like a raid or whatever to him or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, it's good. Us furries always got to stick together." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not a furry," and he's like, "What? You're
Yeah.
not a furry? Your per platypus isn't your fursona?" I was like, "No, I just it was my favorite animal and favorite color. That's all." And he was like super embarrassed. He was like, "I thought he didn't talk to me a single time after that ever again. He thought I was a furry and I just didn't wear my fursuit." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to like. I'm not trying to kink shame, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to put down whatever your thing is. I just didn't even occur to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a couple people unsub and tell me that's why, and I'm like, cool, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not sad by that. Like, watch I lose subs after this live stream. But I mean, when I say I'm running an inclusive community, like, I never thought it was not obvious. Let me say it that way. But
What was the question, by the way? I didn't hear it because my internet cut out.
oh, someone said, "Wife, I thought you were a bear. I'm shocked." And obviously, a bear is a term used in the community. So
Well, it's actually very, yeah. A bunch of people thought I was gay for a long time just
mhm.
because I had like I was very bear like, but also I had a couple pictures of bear on my walls because I was like, I don't know, I my old job they were throwing out this painting of like some bears in the woods, and I put it. And
Mhm.
people were like, "Oh, we get it." I was like, I must put out signals. That's all I'm saying. I must put out signals. Is it my long beautiful hair? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's because it's too luscious, man. It's just too luscious. I totally just got a car from G, whatever her name is. I didn't even read what it was. Let's see, what questions am I missing? So hold on, let me scroll up because I know some other questions were asked. Remember, guys, do the @ sign if you have a question because I can scroll up and find it. Okay, so someone is asking. So Shark was asking, can you please explain what Pierce rate works as numbers, statements, if you can? Basically, explain Pierce rate. So, okay, so think of it this way. You have, I'm going to make up a number. You have 100% defense on the enemy. We'll just start there, which, by the way, a lot of enemies have way more than 100% defense. If you had a pierce of 20%, now that defense is 80. So your starting threshold is lower. Then, if I have defense down to 60%, I'm applying that 60% against a smaller number already. So, Pierce, when applied before defense down from a mathematical standpoint, makes your defense down stronger. So, that's why having more Pierce is good, is because you're basically effectively reducing the starting point of the defense itself. They don't publish the defense numbers for any of the bosses. There's some where people have gotten pretty close to figuring it out. But there's bosses that have like a starting point of like 260% defense because the guild bosses and stuff have modifiers. And the best place you can find this, honestly, go to lufel.net. They have a damage calculation in there. And one of the sections is defense. And you can kind of see the formulas of how it works. And then they have a calculator of sorts, I guess you can call it, where you can say, oh, I'm using this power and this defense down. And it's like, okay, you've effectively increased your damage by 10%. Or, hey, I'll use this other power. It's like, oh, well, now you've increased damage by 25%. So if you really want to get deep on the numbers, which I'm sure the top guilds do, they actually have a calculator for the defense side of that equation. Hopefully that makes sense. Next
That
question.
sounds about right to me.
Yeah,
Also,
I mean, it's just like
Mesa has a passive penetration, same as Fox. I think they're the only two characters with built-in penetration to their own kits.
Yeah,
And then
Fox is
obviously
A1
A1
though for that,
Marion
right?
gives it.
Does Fox need A1 for his?
Oh, does he need A1? I didn't think he
Let me
did,
check.
but honestly, I had Fox A1 since day one, so I actually I could totally confuse.
Let me
his
look
kit
because
with-
I can't remember.
his
No, his A1 is activate imagination as an additional. Okay.
Yeah. So no, he has 20% built in. Each time a shield is gained, he gets a 20%.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
his is arguably better because he has permanent 20% pierce rate up all the time.
Okay.
Whereas Mesa only has it in executioner mode.
Okay. Well, that's a big reason why Minami's A1 is so nice. Is it's because it gives you that 20% penetration, and you kind of stop using skill 1 on her when you get that because you want to always get that up and running. So you end up alternating skill 2 and skill 3, but it's really that penetration that makes it so strong.
So
Earphone has a website for this.
Who does?
Earphone. He says I have a website for that. Hopefully he's talking about the damage calculation, not what we were talking about before then.
Got it. Well, I mean, either way, I'm down for. I'll send me the links. Increase penetration by 20%. So my understanding of why 20% penetration is better than an additional 20% defense down is, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like if someone has, like you said, 200% whatever defense, and you lower their defense by 90% or something, like it's going up against that 200% minus the 90%. Whereas the 20% penetration is like taking their full defense into consideration. So you're actually, even though it's a 20%, you're actually ignoring, 40% effective defense.
Yes, basically, yeah.
So of course 20% penetration is probably not better than 100% defense down, but like I'm sure it strikes above its weight class a lot in terms of a percent.
Hey, Earphone, since you're here, do you know? I haven't bothered to test it. Do you know if our version in global has the penetration changes that came out later in CN and the other servers? So, not to be too mathy, but applying penetration in the damage calculation before defense down is stronger than doing it after or during that part of the formula. So you want to decrease the total defense before you apply defense down. And so that's the root of how they change the formula later. And so it's stronger when that happens. Oh, he says he doesn't know. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to try to freaking test that. But what you want to learn from this is penetration is amazing up until the point that they have no defense. You cannot make them a negative defense. So you do get to a point where you don't need more, but you can't see that because you don't see the boss's defense. Whereas like crit and stuff, you kind of scale into like a curve. But again, we're getting too mathy. So I like this question. Is there a level of spending that you would consider worth it to make the game more enjoyable? Have there been any in-game specials for anniversary, debating low versus free to play? What are your thoughts on an amount that is worth it in spending if you had to pick a number or a rough value?
it's just so it's the hard thing when it comes to finances that it's so subjective. I would
Personal, yep.
say if you lost $100 today and you felt like you were in trouble, then the answer is $0. There's
Mhm.
no amount that's worth it. Like if you don't have $1,000 of like just in case money, like then I'm like, all right, you can't afford to spend on luxury goods in this way.
Yeah.
If you have, if you're in a financial spot where you're like whatever, you have 3 to 6 months of expenses in the bank account. This is slightly aside from what the question's
Sure.
supposed
But
to
it makes
be.
sense. It's
But the idea
relative.
is if you are in a secure financial spot, then it really does come to the diminishing returns of fun is much lower than you would think.
Mm.
Even if you could afford to spend safely $1,000, $2,000 a month on this game, I think that would diminish the fun, unless your fun is getting the biggest number during guild boss battles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
frequently, like, you pay more, you play less. That's kind of like a gacha rule, right? Like
Hmm.
you spend more money, and now Kage gets to auto every piece of content they add in the game without even
It does
thinking
make it
about it, no
easier.
matter what.
Yeah.
I would say I have found no more than $50 to be
Hmm.
perfect. I have every character besides the one character I didn't want. And then I have an extra. I only spent $10 this last month over the whole summer event on the game.
Yeah.
Maybe it was $20, $10 each patch instead of my normal 50. And I still like I have 30,000 gems. I'm ready to get another character. Um, so I
Yeah.
would say roughly that, I would say no more than $50 a patch is probably where the maximum amount of fun can come from.
Yeah. And I like what you're saying here. So I think one of the points you touched on, I think this is one of the most important ones, is if the plug got pulled on this game tomorrow, is the amount of money you've put into it something you're going to regret? Because I have played gacha games where I loved it for the first couple weeks. I dropped a few bucks in it. And then like a week later, I'm like, actually, I don't really like this. In theory, Restart, it was a good one. I put not a lot of money. I mean, it was only maybe 25 total bucks, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then I really disliked the change they made. And then I made a mistake that they should have had a control for. And I quit the game. I completely walked away and I felt bad I ever spent money in it. So, you've got situations like that. I also look at, if you handed me, or if I took from my bank account $70 right now, would I feel better getting an A1 Haru Code Noir? I know what your answer is going to be, or picking up Silent Hill F? Because money is a trade. You're trading one thing for another, right? And so for me right now, I would rather have Silent Hill F as a full game. A couple months ago, I would prefer to have Makoto, right? So it's going to change on the day on what I want. But I think if I were to peg a number down, it's less of a number and more of a thing. And so the way I'll tell you guys, I'm fully transparent about this. The way that I prioritize my spending in this game, now keep in mind, I use YouTube AdSense revenue, which is not much, and any super chats or gifted memberships to fund this, right? So this is how I put the money into the game. I start with the $5 card thing, whatever the heck they call it. What do they call this damn thing? Oh, I need to Melissa, I've got 3 days left. You were completely right, my dear. I buy that because for $5, it's actually a really good value. I get the baseline battle pass because it has some really good stuff in it, plus the weapon cases and tokens. I think right there is a good place to stop, and you get enough for your reward. The other thing that I then do after that is the platinum set. So whenever a character comes out, they have like the weapon and the platinum set. If I have enough of my YouTube earnings, I think those are really good value for the level 1s and 2s. So that's kind of how I would say. So if you're doing just that and you're just doing the level 1s, that's probably in the neighborhood of like, what is that? Close to $50 a month? Oh no, probably closer to $75 a month. But I think I'm with you. Like minimum 15 to $20 because you're going to get the card and the battle pass. And then if you want to get a pack or two here and there to get a couple extra pulls, I don't think that's a bad thing. But again, ask yourself, if you spend $50 right this second and on November 1st the game goes away, how do you feel? I don't regret a single purchase I've made in this game.
And I think it's like further to just agree with you is like when you put the money in and you get your thing out of the game, it's not like, even if the game doesn't end on November 1st, the game will end at some point, always. And you will never, ever, under any circumstance, get that money back. I
100%
mean,
gone.
okay, unless you have a credit card and you do chargebacks. Like, there, of course, there are those. But for the average person that uses,
Yeah.
I don't know, like Google Play cards or whatever, like, you're not going to get the money back. So I never, I kind of have like
Mhm.
a, I hate when people use the word invest in any context for like gotcha games. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand you can say you're investing in the account, but when people say, like, don't, when you're spending money that you can never get back, don't ever call that an investment. Um, just plan to never see the
Yeah.
money again. If that bothers you, then you shouldn't do it. Assume that that money is gone forever as soon as you've spent it, and then if you don't have any regrets about that, then that's fine. Because the game,
Mhm.
I would say if you need to get more than a week of value out of your spending, then I would not even consider it.
Yeah, and I mean, and fun's a relative thing, right? I mean, it's, and you mentioned this earlier, a lot of it has to do with your personal financial situations. Like, I would much rather eat than play a video game. And so if you're trading your ability to have food because you think you're going to be happier pulling away food, like, I'm sorry, you're probably wrong. Like, I've been in those situations where I'm so hungry I can't enjoy life. So yeah, I think, take it all like that, and don't take any of this as me and Platt said go spend $50 a month. Like, that's not our goal. I think, and I'm not meaning to speak for Platt, but I don't think we're trying to tell you to go spend money necessarily to have fun. My entire KR account is free to play. I came into Global wanting to create content because I had so much fun being fully free to play. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, look, the game will be fun, free to play. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
more fun if you spend a little bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be less fun if you spend too much money. Um, so you got to find. I again, like, it's also personal and subjective, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's I don't want to be that guy that just says, like, listen, you have to decide this or Silk Song. It's like Silk
Yeah.
Song is $20. Getting a character, it's like, yeah, I've played Silk Song for 50 hours and it's been one of the most fun gaming experiences I've had in years. That's way more value than this, but it's like, money is money, right? Like, it's meant to be used to give you in some way. So I think it's fine to spend money on gotchas. It's one of
Yeah.
the reasons I wanted to do my financial gotcha thing. And I don't even judge how much people spend on it. It's all about your
Yeah.
personal ability to. But just be aware that spending too much, I think, has diminishing returns. It is not an investment. You're never getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, if you, again, like, if the game is going to close down next month and you regret your spending, then you probably shouldn't spend it in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got time for one more question, my friends. And then I've got to bring it to a close and go cook dinner for the family. But so first of all, another question, but Earphone, his tool, you basically input your team's stats and it tells you how much pen and defense down you're still lacking. So that sounds super cool. Feel free to link that in chat, Earphone, or also just drop it in the Discord. By the way, I did put the link up top, guys. Discord, the Bear Pack is open for everybody now. As much as I wanted to wait for the 10K subs as a milestone, I'd rather just build the community. And frankly, my subs have like plateaued. I actually had like 3 or 4 days where I lost subs more than I gained subs. So I don't want to make everybody wait to be part of the community. So if you didn't know that, the link is in the pinned comment up top. So let's find our final question here. Let me scroll up. This is from Mega Man. Is there any unit who got buffed, reworked so far that you feel like should have gotten more? And if so, what would you add or change? Bonus points for which awakenings would be at. So I probably won't dip it into the awakenings just because there's too much subject in there, or subjectivity. I'm going to say Fox. So Fox's buffs were okay, but it's another example of not fixing the fundamental problem. And his fundamental problem is he scales off of defense, and you don't get like chords that buff defense. You don't get Minamis that buff defense to where it matters and makes him like super meta. Is he a good character? Yes. Is he a strong character? Yes. But ask yourself, outside of his own guild boss, where you don't want somebody else that can pair with people that are buffing attack. Like, if you pulled Summer Tomoko, she buffs attack. If you pull Cord, she can help him with his highlight, but it's actually not that great, to be honest.
His highlight only needs to be used once every 3 turns because it has an ongoing effect.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So like if they could have done something like, and I don't know what maybe if they could have said, let's take 75% of your defense and convert it to attack, and then you could also attack buff him. Like there's some other way they could have done it, right? But to me, I wanted him to be better. I wanted his changes to be fundamental to where you actually are like, hey, let me use him. And I'll tell you right now, like once Summer Puppet comes to the game, you will never touch Fox again. Like her moves do so much damage that there's no point in using Fox when you could just bring her, like if you pull her, and she's just an AoE ice, and now we got Mitsuru coming out who's ice as well. So yeah, he falls hard, and the content just never wants him.
It's weird because like this is another issue with like a game like Persona 5X and just like a traditional gacha or like a traditional JRPG, where it's like in a traditional JRPG, I feel like Fox and Fox's team would arguably be the single strongest team in the entire game. And it's like that is separate from a gacha game because like if you go through a normal game, he has incredible defense. And by boosting his survivability even more, you make him stronger. Yuki's very good defense, boosts damage. You know, you could do all the support stuff, but it's like it's not good for big number. You know, it's like it's not good for doing the most damage in a game that only cares about doing the most damage in 5 turns. If they had if there was like a super final ultra boss who he could one shot Joker because he's a glass cannon, you know, suddenly this is the kind of team you bring. They auto so much like the Metro Desire content, like their team you don't even need to think about.
You know, not to.
So it's just weird. He would be so good in a traditional JRPG, but in a gacha game, they're just like there's not that much that he cares about.
You know, something, and this goes to a different game, but that Chaos Zero Nightmare game, the first batch of levels are face roll autoable like every gacha game out there, right? But then, so they have like a whole roguelike mode, and it's I'll spare all the details, but basically it's how you build your characters out. And the first 2 difficulties, you could bring all DPS if you wanted to, and just run a rock this on it. And then everyone got to the 3rd difficulty. And if you didn't start bringing defensive and shielders and like controller type characters, you were fucked. Like, and I was like, thank you. Cause I love tank archetypes. I love controller type archetypes. And when the entire game devolves into your DPS has to go pew pew, like I lose interest. Not totally lose interest, but like, it's just not as dynamic and fun for me. So I'm happy to go into something hard.
DPS are the best units in the game until you can't one round something, and then you're like, wait a second, my whole team died in one shot. So I love strong characters, but I love needing to have support as well, like in defense, you know, to keep yourself alive.
Yeah. So Earphone brings up too, and I forgot this. I actually did play the cycle when Summer Public came out. I didn't get a weapon, but I got her base kit. And they didn't even give her a new boss. They just gave us Cert. And it's just like, well, she's better than Fox. And he says the Reaper has 120 million HP.
I could beat that.
I mean, I'm just going to put McLaren.
Last time I checked, Sumi does 20% damage per turn. Okay.
There you go. So guys, I have to unfortunately take this to a close. Like I said, I got to go cook dinner for the family, and then we're going for a nice family walk to get the kids to the skate park. So, you know, good stuff. Good dad moments as always. But like I said, per Platypus and I do like doing these live when it makes sense, when it works out. So we'll look for other opportunities to do stuff like this. And otherwise, I travel. Oh no, I'll be back. So I travel in November, but I'll be back for Sunday. So it'll mean I won't be able to stream that Saturday night, but I'll be back to do the podcast. Jeez, I don't know why the hell I couldn't figure out what that term was.
Awesome. And I don't go anywhere or do anything, so I'll be. Perfect. You just let me know. I do something sometimes, but it's like a birthday party that I have to go to for a couple hours.
Yeah, fair. Awesome. Well, then I'm gonna say bye. My dog is knocking. You know what? Let me just show my dog. He's knocking to come in. We'll let him say bye. Grab your cat. Don't shock it.
No, I would never. I love my cat.
Mo, come here. They want to see you. Come here. Oh. We got to get the Mosters. We've got animals. Oh, come here, bud. Oh, let me spin you around. Can you say hi?
My boy has a shirt on right now.
Nice.
Because he scratches his neck sometimes, and so we cut his nails, but he got a little scab back there. So to stop him from keep scratching it, we put a little thing on. Hi. Buddy, calm down 1 second.
I
He
love
is a
that my
cat. He's
dog
not a
is basically
dog.
the size of a cat.
There we go.
Oh, you caught that, goat. Yeah, you caught that. You know what's funny is my dog also looks like Morgana. Like in the coloring, it's just a dog. I'm sorry, I did say you look like a cat. How are you, my
I
friend?
love you,
I
buddy.
love you, bud. That just it sounded like we were saying we love each other to each other instead of our animals. I love Platt too. It's fine. All right, everyone. With our animals saying goodbye, you're tangled in my headset there, buddy. I'm gonna end the stream. So thank you, and yeah, a lot of content to come. Talk to you later. Platt, you want to send us off?
See you later, guys. See you for the platypus on the flip flops. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Ugh.